So Big Swole, keto diets?
Can you believe that shit?
It's the GAINZ Trust, baby. What's the deal, Big Swole?
The flavor of the month, man.
Oh, mate, the
Keto-
flavor of the year.
Keto diets or ketogenic diets have been, I guess, there's been an increase in popularity in the fitness industry itself over the last we'd say probably 12 months.
The fitness industry, as you guys would know, is there's diet fads that come and go.
Well, it's the same in society, man. There's always diets that come and go.
That's a good point, but
Yeah.
I think the fitness industry, because everyone's dieting,
Oh, of course.
you know,
Yeah.
so what diet are you following?
Yeah.
Is particularly attracted to dieting fads. And one of the biggest fads at the moment is, of course, keto diet. And a lot of you have been waiting for us to shoot this video.
Yeah.
And finally, this video is here.
Yeah, and it's not as if keto diets are a new thing either. They've been around for years
long
and
time.
years and years and years and years.
Long time. But have just really made their way or been really applied
Yeah.
to the health and fitness
Yeah.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
as opposed to, just another way.
General,
of diet.
general fat loss and
So
that sort of
we
thing.
have a jam-packed episode of the GAINZ Trust. So much so, I'm actually going to tell you guys the topics.
Well, yeah, because we're actually going to go through.
We're
we're going to go through everything. We're
We're
going to go.
about to go balls deep in this keto diet episode. The topics starting with, we're going to go through what is a keto diet.
Yeah.
To explain to you guys what it is for those of you who aren't aware. What happens when you're in ketosis.
Yep.
The benefits of being in ketosis. The disadvantages or the downsides to being in ketosis. Why most people who think they're in ketosis are not in ketosis.
That's going to be the good part.
And a little bit on the rapid rise in keto supplements,
Yeah.
or supplements that are marketed as to either being supporting the keto lifestyle or putting you in ketosis,
Yeah.
or there's a lot of different claims. We're going to
Yeah.
address those.
So we're going to go through those as well.
So first things first, what is a keto diet, Big Swole? Break it down.
So a keto diet is a very high fat,
Yes.
Low carbohydrate, moderate protein diet.
Correct.
Now, what it's going to do by feeding your body a lot of fat and keeping it, keeping your protein moderate and your carbs relatively or very, very low.
Correct.
Is it's going to force your body to use body fat or fat as energy.
Correct.
And a byproduct of that is going to be ketones.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So your body actually goes from, in a typical diet where you have, a typical diet
Or
is
a balanced diet.
Let's go
say
with
balanced.
balanced diet, where your carbohydrate intake is moderate or even high.
Yeah.
Your body's primary source of fuel is glucose.
Yeah.
From carbohydrates.
Yeah.
When your body runs out of glucose, because you've been eating carbs, you're going to have stored glycogen. So your body will then break down glycogen to create glucose, and then your body will break down body fat as well. So don't get it. First things first. Don't get it twisted. You can still break down body fat eating a balanced diet.
Of course you can.
I think that's the first misconception a lot of people have is they're like, well, if I'm not doing a keto diet, if I'm not in ketosis,
Yeah.
my body can't use fat for energy.
Well, and the other thing is, man, you can actually get into ketosis without being in a ketogenic diet as well.
Of course.
There's no black and white area for this. There's gray areas with everything. So,
But what a keto diet actually is a very high fat, very low carb, moderate to low protein diet.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, what happens when you get into ketosis is your body runs out of its primary source of fuel, which is glucose and glycogen.
Yeah.
So you don't consume carbs, or you consume a very small amount of carbs. Your body goes through the glucose, it runs out of glucose. It then taps into stored glucose in the form of glycogen, and that can be from muscles or certain organs. Your liver stores a lot of glycogen. Once it runs out of glycogen, it has no choice but to break down triglycerides or break down stored fats as energy, and use ketone bodies as a source of fuel rather than using glucose as a source of fuel.
yeah.
That's what
it.
That's what happens when you get into ketosis.
Yeah.
Benefits of keto, Big Swole. When you're in keto, let's say you're following the keto diet. After a day or a couple of days, or however long it takes, you get into ketosis.
Yep.
What are the benefits of being in ketosis?
one of the first
Why do
benefits
people do this shit?
is it's going to keep, because obviously you're not consuming any carbohydrates.
Correct.
Your body, because you're consuming that lower amount of
I don't
proteins.
see that as a benefit.
Me neither.
Anyway, continue.
Because you're consuming that low amount of protein, which your body can't actually turn into glucose. Your insulin levels are going to stay relatively steady all day.
Correct.
Which means your energy levels are going to be pretty consistent all day long. Because as we know, if you're consuming too many carbohydrates, your insulin levels can go up and down all day, which can cause your energy levels to go up and down all day as well.
Absolutely. So insulin stability, I think is definitely a benefit of ketosis.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of a flow-on effect from that is not only do you get better insulin stability or more stable insulin levels, is because your body's not secreting as much insulin, your insulin sensitivity increases.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you ever go back to carbohydrates, your body's ability to use those carbohydrates much more effectively and less chance of you storing them as triglycerides, as body fat, is far improved because your insulin sensitivity increases.
Yeah. So
Other benefits
is it can actually control epilepsy, and they've done this for years by having that really high fat diet, because obviously the extra brain activity you're going to get from the amount of fats and triglycerides that you're actually consuming.
Correct.
They've also done studies on it, on your keto diet actually being beneficial for fighting cancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they've found out that cancer cells actually, they get their fuel from glucose. So by starving them of glucose, you can actually stop them from actually, multiplying and growing. So
that's news to me.
That's just a new study they've done over the last couple of years. By going into a keto type diet, you can actually help fight or help reduce cancer if you do in fact get it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting study. So.
In terms of sports performance, there is also a benefit of keto, is that ketone bodies have been shown to be a very good source, almost like I've heard people say an unlimited source of fuel for endurance sports. So sports where you're, marathon type sports where there's, I guess kind of a low intensity, sustained effort over a very long period of time, is ketone bodies can actually provide the fuel for that quite efficiently.
Yeah.
So ketone bodies and being in ketosis is actually quite good for endurance sports.
Yes.
And then finally, you've kind of touched on it a little bit, but improved brain function due to increased fat intake. Yeah. And increase in mental clarity, which once again is due to the increase in fat intake, and some may argue as well due to more stable insulin levels throughout the day.
You know that, and everyone who's done this, once you're consuming carbohydrates throughout the day, if your insulin levels go really high, you get cloudy, you get tired. So that's one of, if that's not going to happen if you're on that keto diet, you're not eating any carbohydrates at all.
Absolutely.
So you're not going to have that insulin effect. So that's one of the benefits of it as well.
And I guess really the final benefit of keto is the fact that you're using body fat as a source of fuel.
Absolutely. The reason that the keto diet is similar to the Atkins diet as well. And the reason that was actually brought out, although you consider it a bit of a fad diet as well, is to lose weight. Yeah. Because you're forcing your body to burn through body fat.
Absolutely.
So, if you want to get rid of that excess body fat, it's going to happen.
Definitely. That's the benefits. What about the downsides, mate?
Okay.
Because every diet has pros and cons.
Well, there's always pros and cons.
So what are the cons of a keto diet?
So they've found that, your high intensity sports or your team sports mainly, the performance factor of not having any carbohydrates is really, really what's going to affect your performance.
100%.
So that's, your team sports like football, basketball, where you're at that higher intensity. Even you'd look at bodybuilding as well.
Of course.
As because you need, it's a glucose dominant sport.
Well,
or type of training.
Your high intensity exercise is going to tap into two energy systems, right? Yeah. You're going to have, on one hand, your glucose energy system, which requires glucose. Yeah. If you don't have glucose, not going to work.
Exactly.
The other is your phosphate energy system, which uses ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which you also require glucose to produce. Yeah. So if you're doing a high intensity sport, you're effectively starving your body of the fuel that it uses for that high intensity sport. So you're forcing it to use a less efficient fuel source. Through ketone bodies. So you definitely get a decrease in performance in any high intensity athletic type.
And that's where I think, especially with the fitness industry, where people have been, not misinformed, but they think, by doing this keto diet, they're going to lose weight, but you will see a decrease in performance when you're training in the gym or whatever it might be.
And a flow on from that is decreased protein synthesis. For two reasons. Firstly, you're not going to be able to train as hard, which means you're not going to be able to stimulate as much muscle growth, protein synthesis. Secondly, whenever you have a decrease in muscle glycogen, you also have a decrease in protein synthesis. And you don't have muscle glycogen because you're not eating carbohydrates.
I guess, and the next one, which ties into that as well, is your decrease in recovery time as well.
Because, because your protein's low.
You don't have any protein. There's lower protein synthesis. You know, if you look at the percentage of the amount of protein you need to eat over, you know, your whole diet to be in ketosis.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, but you know, it's very, very low.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have enough protein to actually build muscle or recover.
Your essential amino acid intake, which is why we consume protein in the first place, is reduced. And if you have less essential amino acids, you're not able to repair and rebuild any type of tissue. If you're training and you're trying to repair and rebuild muscle tissue, you're not going to be able to as efficiently as you could with a higher protein intake.
Yeah, 100%.
Correct? Incredibly restrictive, this keto diet.
Yeah, all you're eating is fat.
You know, most diets are going to be restrictive in some form. No matter what diet you're following, you're going to have certain foods or certain types of foods that the diet's going to say, look, don't consume those or consume a minimum amount of those. The keto diet takes an entire macronutrient, carbohydrates, and says, get the out of here. No carbs.
Yeah, the only carbs you will be getting are probably from like green vegetables and
fibrous carbs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
100%.
So, and that's one thing for anyone who's actually on the keto diet. You want to make sure you're increasing your fiber intake. Otherwise, you're going to have all sorts of digestive issues as well.
And just on that point as well, you know, a lot of diets you're able to have refeeds or cheat meals or those sorts of things. You can't do that with a keto diet.
Well, you could eat heaps of pork crackling or something.
You could have a fat refeed, like you'd want to. But you can't have, you know, an all-out refeed or an all-out cheat meal, because if you consume carbohydrates, you push yourself out of ketosis. Your body will start to store glycogen, and it's going to take you a significant period of time to get rid of that glycogen and get back into ketosis
again.
So, you know, it's restrictive. It's almost a two-prong restriction. No carbs and no carbs. In any form. And I guess finally the last downside to keto is when you are going through the process to getting ketosis, there's this thing called the keto flu that a lot of people experience, and that is just a decrease in energy, mental fogginess. You feel like shit.
Well, mate, you're taking out one complete macronutrient. Your body is going to take time to adjust to that. That's why you're going to feel like shit, basically.
All right, Big Swole. Why most people who think they're in ketosis are not actually in ketosis?
Well, as we've mentioned already, you know, your protein intake with this needs to be very low. Now, this is mainly going to, I guess, get to people in the fitness industry, especially who are eating a higher protein diet, and then go, okay, I want to do a keto diet. And then, so what they do is they just increase their fats, they keep their protein about the same, and say, oh man, I'm on this keto diet. And then you'll find out, you know, they'll still be eating fruit every now and then, or, you know, their protein, like I said, their protein intake's still really high. If your protein intake is still high, your body can still can use that excess protein as it can transform it into glucose or turn it into glucose.
It can. The process is called gluconeogenesis, and it's a process by which your body takes amino acids and converts them into glucose when your body doesn't have glucose. That process, gluconeogenesis, is the main reason why a lot of people in the fitness industry who think they're doing a keto diet, who think they're in ketosis, are actually just doing a low-carb diet or a no-carb diet.
And they've increased their fats.
Or a high-fat diet.
High-fat, high-protein diet.
That's the biggest problem is, you know, the fitness industry, we're accustomed to eating 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight, or 1.5 grams per kilo, or whatever the number is.
You're eating protein with every single meal.
Generally, it's a higher than normal protein diet. The problem with that is it's not conducive to ketosis, because your body will take the protein, convert it into glucose through gluconeogenesis, and it will push you out of ketosis. Straight away.
If you look at the percentages of what you need to do, you know, they say as a benchmark, your minimum amount of fat that you want to consume in total calories would be 75% of your caloric intake per day would be fat.
Okay, as a rule of thumb.
As a rule of thumb. Okay, and then so 5% of that would be from carbohydrates, which, as we mentioned before, would be from fibrous carbs.
Correct.
Okay, the other 20% would be protein.
Yes.
Now, like Josh, our warehouse manager, has actually done keto for a while.
Yep.
We've got his results here.
And Dilip, I just want you to just pop these results up on the screen real quick because this is really interesting. So what we're looking at with this table, in the first column, you've got week. So we've got week 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Then we've got protein intake, we've got carb intake, we've got fat intake in grams. We've got total caloric intake. And then in the final column, we've got ketone levels.
Yeah.
And what we're looking for with ketone levels, Big Swole,
Yeah.
generally considered to be in ketosis, your blood ketone levels need to be above 0.5.
Yes.
So you can see there's only 1 week here where Bosch had blood ketone levels of above 0.5, and that was week 7.
Yeah. And if we have a look at the numbers there.
Have a look at those numbers.
Yeah.
Protein, 105 grams. Carbs, 30 grams. Fats, 340 grams. Calories, 3,600.
Now if we break those down into percentages that I spoke before, now this is a general rule that, you're getting off most internet websites that are saying, to get into ketosis, you need to be at those amounts.
At 75% fat, 20% protein, 5% carbs. And
so,
if you have a look at week 2, Bosch was pretty close to those numbers.
Yeah.
So based on the general rule of thumb, he's kind of following that.
Yeah.
But nowhere near ketosis.
When he actually got into ketosis.
Nowhere at that week 2,
no.
Swole, 0.1 blood not even close.
No. But week 7, he got into ketosis.
And what were his percentages?
So 12% protein, was it 3% carbs?
Yep.
And 85% fat.
To actually get in ketosis.
Yep.
And this is twofold. This is one of the main reason why a lot of people in the fitness industry who think they're in ketosis aren't actually in ketosis, is because their caloric intake is much higher than the generally recommended macronutrient split. So that macronutrient split for someone who consumes 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
But if you're like Boss Josh, you're consuming double that. Well, the ratios change.
Absolutely.
And the reason why the ratios change is because if you look at the total value of carbs as 5% of a 4,000 calorie diet, if you look at the total value of protein as 20% of a 4,000 calorie diet, you're going to get gluconeogenesis.
100%.
You're going to get glucose. Your body's going to store glycogen.
Yeah.
You're not going to be in ketosis.
Absolutely.
And I had a bit of fun with Boss Josh because I knew he wasn't in ketosis.
Well, that
very early on.
And tell me, so how did you actually know? Because there's definitely, you can tell when someone's in ketosis. So do you want to explain how you can tell?
Yeah, well, firstly, he was getting pumps when he was in the gym. I was like, you're not in ketosis, bro. You don't get pumps when you're in ketosis. Secondly, he didn't have keto breath. So when someone's in ketosis, their breath smells like ketones.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
They stink.
Yeah, it's almost like an acidic sort of smell, isn't it?
It's hard. It's like they haven't brushed their teeth for like a year.
Yeah, it's
and he didn't have that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, mate, go get yourself a blood ketone meter. You're not in ketosis.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, he wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Until he reduced his protein intake to 100 grams.
Yeah.
He reduced his carb intake to 30. And actually ended up reducing his caloric intake to get the, to actually
I think
get
it was
into
about 400
ketosis.
calories he decreased it by. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And we see it all the time where people are saying they're following the ketone diet and the next day they'll, put up a photo of them eating a fruit salad. It doesn't work like that.
Well, yeah. So, we've touched on a couple of reasons why people who think they're in keto aren't in keto. The first is the protein intake's too high.
Yeah.
The second is the carb intake's too high. Although the percentages are out because their overall caloric intake is too high.
Yeah.
And the third is the fact that they're doing refeeds and cheat meals once a week.
It doesn't work like that.
I mean, a decent cheat meal can push you out of ketosis for an entire week.
Well, it can take up to 2 weeks for you actually to get into ketosis.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, well, it depends how quickly you get rid of and deplete all the carbohydrates in your body because you can't actually get into ketosis until you've depleted all those carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So depending on how much you actually store,
100%.
it's going to depend how long it takes you to get out of it.
And I guess really, the more muscle mass you have, the more potential there is to store glycogen.
To store, absolutely.
So it's probably going to take you longer. And most people in the fitness industry have above average muscle mass.
So they're going to store more glucose or glycogen.
Mate.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Yep.
Final topic, Big Swole. Keto supplements.
Yeah. So this one isn't old, man. These are like ketone supplements have probably only been around for probably 5 or 6 years. Now this is where we're looking at
BHB salts.
Yeah, BHB salts, raspberry ketones, which have been around for...
Let someone get Dr. Oz in this motherfucker.
So the raspberry ketones and other products like that, and what a lot of, I guess, supplement companies are doing is saying we're adding these ingredients to our products to get you into ketosis within,
which is bullshit.
Within 30 minutes. If you drink, say, BHB salts or raspberry ketones, because you go and piss on a stick and it says that there's ketones in your urine, you're in ketosis.
Man, I hate it when the supplement industry does this.
And this is the biggest issue. This is purely, I guess, supplement companies trying to line their pockets and take advantage of a fad diet and say, well, the research says this, so we're going to use that research and bring out this product to say, we're going to make a fat burner that's got BHB and salts and raspberry ketones in it. So you're going to get into ketosis and burn fat straight away.
I got two things I need to say here. Firstly, urine ketone levels are a complete waste of time.
Well, if you think about it, mate, if you drink something,
yes,
you're going to piss it out.
100%.
So if you drink ketones,
exogenous ketones,
and your body. It'll have ketones, don't get me wrong, but it's not the ketones that you want from body fat. So to think that you're going to be burning through body fat by drinking this particular product is bullshit.
Before you even get there, the fact that you're measuring ketosis by exogenous ketones that you consume and then piss out is a complete rip.
100%.
Urine ketone is just shit. Blood ketone is where it's at, and that's what Boss Josh used in the results that we just discussed.
Yeah, and it's not, to get a blood ketone meter is not expensive.
No. The thing with these supplements is you consume them orally, right? Exogenous ketones. Exogenous means outside the body, so your body's not producing them. They're not endogenous. They're exogenous. You're putting them into your body. You are going to get an increase in blood ketone levels because you're consuming exogenous ketones.
Yeah.
So based on the numbers of are you or are you not in ketosis, and we mentioned that to be in ketosis, the general rule of thumb is blood ketone levels of 0.5 or above.
Yeah.
You consume exogenous ketones, you take a blood test in 10-15 minutes, your bloods are gonna reflect that you're in ketosis.
Yes.
But you're not.
Well, you're not. No, you're not burning.
You've consumed exogenous ketones.
Yeah, you're not.
Your body hasn't produced ketones itself.
No,
you're not in ketosis. You may get something. Don't get it twisted.
No, there's benefits to them. Absolutely.
We discussed the benefits of ketosis earlier on. And if we just flick back to those, by having ketones in your blood, whether they're endogenous or exogenous, but let's look at the supplements. So you consume exogenous ketones, you get higher blood ketone levels. You are going to get a couple of the benefits, those benefits being you're going to have the ketone bodies that are going to provide fuel for endurance sports. Yep, you're going to get that benefit, 100%. You're also going to get the perceived increase in brain function and mental clarity because your brain's got ketone bodies to work with. So you get that. You're not going to get fat being used as a primary source of fuel because your body's going to use glucose, not ketones. Well, it's going to lose glucose in the first place. You're not going to get stabilized insulin throughout the day because you're consuming carbohydrates. You're not going to get improved insulin sensitivity because you're consuming carbohydrates. You're not going to be able to control epilepsy because you're consuming carbohydrates. So all of those benefits of keto, which really is the reason why people do keto in the first place, and that's what a lot of the supplement companies base their marketing on, is take exogenous ketones and you'll be burning fat for energy. Get the f*** out of my face with that shit, because it's just not true.
And as I said before, it's just...
And they're manipulating the research, they're manipulating the basis that if you have a blood ketone reading of 0.5 or above, you're in ketosis, therefore you get all of the benefits of ketosis, which is just shit. You don't. 100%. You get two of the benefits of ketosis, which are directly related to having ketone bodies in your blood. But all of the other benefits are related to endogenous ketones, not exogenous ketones. That's what pisses me off.
It gets you angry, doesn't it?
Oh, it
because
does.
Once again, it's supplement companies trying to line their pockets and taking advantage of the consumers. By putting the word keto on a supplement and saying, it's got these ingredients in there, so it's going to do this. Which is just complete crap.
It's taking advantage of people who are misinformed.
Yeah.
And that's what we hope to do with
Well,
this
that's what
video.
we're doing.
That's what we do the GAINZ Trust for,
Yeah.
is to inform you guys and let you know the actual facts. And the actual facts of these exogenous ketone supplements is they will give you the benefits of having ketones in your blood, which is improved muscular endurance, improved mental clarity,
Yeah.
but they're not going to help your body burn fat for energy.
No.
It's just not going to happen.
No. So,
and I mean, you know, the underlying principle here, Big Swap, it doesn't matter what diet you do, whether you're keto diet, whether you're bro diet, whether you're flexible diet, if it fits your macros, intermittent fasting, I don't give a what diet you do. If you want to lose body fat, you have to be in caloric deficit.
100%.
You can follow a keto diet, be using fat as your primary source of fuel, be in a caloric surplus,
And gain weight.
and gain weight,
Yeah.
and put body fat on, even though your body is not using carbs for fuel.
No, it's using body fat.
It's
but-
using the
No,
fats
fat
you
you're
consume,
eating, yeah, but-
and body fat for fuel, but you can still actually put on fat.
Well, mate, if you're eating more than
you're in a keto diet.
you're burning this much fat and putting on this or eating this much, you know,
Of course.
it's simple maths, and that's what it comes down to anyway.
And that's the principles of thermodynamics, guys.
Yep.
It's the underlying principle for any diet. When you're trying to lose weight, when you're trying to lose body fat, you must be in caloric deficit.
100%.
So don't fall into the trap, firstly, of following the keto diet and not worrying about your caloric
Calories,
intake.
yeah. In fact, you'll have to worry about it more than if you were on any other diet, because you
True.
need to get those percentages correct.
But your overall caloric intake,
Yeah.
you still need to be in a deficit.
Yeah.
And secondly, don't fall into the trap of buying some bullshit, overmarketed, overhyped ketogenic diet, exogenous ketone bullshit supplement that's going to tell you that it's going to burn fat for energy, because firstly, it's not.
No.
And secondly, if you're in caloric surplus, you're still not going to lose weight.
It's not going to matter. Yeah. So if you do want to buy a a keto supplement, like we said, if you're going to buy it purely for the mental clarity and brain function effects that you're going to get
Go
from
for it.
absolutely,
100%.
And that's a great reason to have a supplement.
If you're an endurance athlete,
Yeah,
and you're
absolutely.
looking for an edge up, man, you know what? Why not double dip? Why not use your glucose energy system, have carbs,
And take the ketones
and then
as well.
also have the benefits of ketones in your blood through taking exogenous ketones?
Absolutely.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah,
Not a problem.
But don't get duped into buying a fat-burning keto supplement because, as Joe just said before, it's complete bullshit.
It is complete bullshit. Big swole. I think that's where we got to wrap
I think
this
we've
up,
nailed
man.
that one, man.
I think we nailed
Yeah,
it.
I think
Do you
we've-
have anything else you'd like to add
I think that's about it, man.
before I tell the viewers to hit the subscribe button? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, man. Stay up to date with all the latest editions of the GAINZ Trust and everything else in our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn your post notifications on, guys. If you like this video, throw down a like on this video and throw down a comment as well. We're interested to hear your guys' thoughts. Have you tried keto? Did you find what Boss Josh found? Have you not tried keto? Are you thinking of trying keto? Do you disagree with us? Do you think that keto is the
Mate,
best thing ever?
I'm sure there will be people that disagree with
Do
us.
you think exogenous ketones, you just consume them and you shrivel up into a fucking sultana because you lose all your body fat? I don't know. Throw down a comment. I'm
Yeah.
interested to hear them. And guys,
am I.
don't forget to spread the love. Share this video around. Get some love on the Massive Joe's YouTube channel. Till next time, Big Swole. Where we come to and from.
MassiveJoes.com.